Hello, excellent people on YouTube thirsty for knowledge. Ooh, metaphor! I said I would sometimes be teaching things. Yeah. And today I'll start with a little lesson about metaphors and similes. Over to you. A metaphor is where one concept, situation or domain is used. Excuse me, boring! Excuse me, we said teaching and silly stuff in peaceful coexistence. Oh yeah, since when do I have to stick to what? I've got that in writing. You what? What? I signed that? Why? You thought it was completely ridiculous and liked the idea. So, metaphor. A concept, situation or domain is used to describe or understand something else. The metaphor is something about which you or your listener already knows more, while less is known about the something else to which the metaphor is applied. The effect of the metaphor is to transfer the understanding from the better-known source to the lesser-known target. Another way to say is that the source becomes a mental model used to understand the target. Such as in, education is your passport to satisfying employment. A metaphor is a figurative device. What it describes is never literally true. For example, you are an angel. You can see that a metaphor makes an implicit comparison. That's maybe why it's sometimes confused with a simile, which compares and says something is like something else. For example, you are like an angel, putting the figure next to the target. A metaphor replaces the target by transferring meaning from one item to the other, so the qualities of an angel, kind, just, forgiving, are transferred to myself in this example, with the effect that a metaphor usually expresses a deeper meaning, or at least feels more profound than a simile. The best way to tell metaphor and simile apart is to watch out for the comparative word, because expressed in simplified terms, a metaphor is a comparison without the word like, but actually the difference goes deeper than that. Metaphors have often become absorbed into common language, so the speaker isn't conscious of the comparison. I'm heartbroken. You are my sunshine, in front of that mountain of work, in a sea of faces. But the metaphor also tends to be more abstract, so that simply dropping the comparative word doesn't always work. You are my sunshine. You are like the sunshine. I'm heartbroken. My heart feels as if it was broken. You're a couch potato. You're like a potato? You're on the couch like a potato? Fine. Another difference. In the narrower sense, a metaphor is limited to one word or phrase. Obviously, there are many metaphors which continue the comparison into the rest of the sentence or sentences. This is what we call an extended metaphor, very common in poetry. Shakespeare, for instance, used them often in his plays. This is a famous example from As You Like It. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. What does that mean? Okay. Well, it's obvious, isn't it? What did I say about interrupting? An extended metaphor can also be continued throughout an entire literary work, which is the case for many novels, such as The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, which can be seen as a metaphor of man against himself. Metaphors are related to other figurative devices, such as symbols. White dove stands for peace. Or a very interesting one, the cipher, an insider symbol, understandable only to those who know about it. Elke Lasker-Schüller's blue piano is a symbol for her childhood, and in Paul Celan's Death Fugue, the black milk of daybreak is a cipher symbolizing the Holocaust. In the Doctor Who episode Blink, the angels have the phone box is a... Oh, no, sorry, that was a fact. While there are already an infinite number of metaphors in everyday life, there is one area bursting with them, as if we didn't have enough words to talk about: science and computers. Computers. There are virtual folders, files, a resource bank or data bank. You have a desktop, Windows, a mouse with which you navigate around the computer. On the internet we have pages, on websites or whole portals which send cookies to our computers. We have home pages, galleries for our pictures, we choose thumbnails for our videos, and some of us hide behind an avatar. I'm not criticizing. As a matter of fact, those metaphors are often a nice source for jokes. It's a just question though, aren't there enough words in our language? Or do we find techniques, signs and feelings so hard to express that we constantly have to resort to the same few words? How would you say I'm heartbroken without the figure? One gets the impression that especially science is often at a loss of words. Or how would you explain what is probably the world's worst metaphor, Schrödinger's cat, which is called a thought experiment but actually is an extended metaphor I am going to rant on in my next video. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Don't you want to mock this?